On Sunday evening, in the middle of a heavy downpour, a building in Kisenyi crumbled and collapsed, killing 6 people and injuring 6. Kampala Capital City Authority said they had not authorized construction on the site and had stopped any further development due to technical faults on the building. This was not the first time buildings were collapsing in the city and claiming lives. And President Yoweri Museveni set up the National Building Review Board to ensure that developers are complying with the set building standards. Today we spoke to the Executive Secretary to the board, Flavia Bwire. As a board, you have someone who is supposed to be inspecting to know what's going on, especially in terms at construction sites. What do you think could have gone wrong?
I don't want to speculate. The investigations have just started. I do not want to speculate. I know the team doing the investigations will be interfacing with that particular team from KCCA. And based on the information we get, we shall be able to inform the public of what we think went wrong.
That we have seen buildings collapse in Kampala alone after the board was put in place. In the last 1 year, could you tell us some of the reports that you've done? What are some of the indicators in terms of the people who have not done the right thing? Is it KCCA? Is it the engineers? Is it the developers?
Most of these buildings do not have permission to start construction. They don't have drawings. They do not have qualified professionals doing the designs or even doing supervision. You find unqualified people on site, and because of the unqualified people on site, the quality of material itself is poor.
Have you found Kampala Capital City Authority building committee wanting in terms of how they are executing their mandate?
During the monitoring, there are projects we have gone to, and we actually find nobody has ever gone there to monitor what is happening there. And we've mentioned them, we've always presented them to them, and we're telling them this has not been monitored, this has these issues, let's do a BCD.
Could you take action against individuals, especially from other authorities that you supervise like KCCA, where they are not doing their job right?
Let me take you back to the regulations we are developing. It is specifically supposed to bridge that gap. That when you discover that these people are not doing their job, then what? That is not written anywhere in the Act. So what were we trying to do? Despite the fact that the Act gives the National Building Review Board the mandate to monitor what these people are doing, it is nowhere in the law that if they are not doing good, you should do this. It's not there.
What do you say about the narrative that some people say that the board has turned out into a board that does post-mortem, but actually you don't prevent problems from happening? So you give solutions when people have already died, and instead of stopping this kind of impunity.
The National Building Review Board has been in existence for 1 year, effectively 1 year. And in 1 year, we've put together a lot of instruments that are supposed to support the building control processes. Now, we are still at foundation stage. Even when we think we have put this in place, we now discover there's another gap that we need to fill.
This was Kampala Capital City Authority Public Relations Officer Daniel Nwabine's response.
Well, if the Building Review Board has established such anomalies, it is a blessing. We have a starting point. However, we also have our building inspectors do the right thing when they're supposed to do it. For example, those buildings that collapse, and we have issued them notices. Remember, we can't supervise an illegality. Some of these structures are put up illegally, and all we can do is issue them removal notices. If they don't, after a specific number of days, we issue them with enforcement notices, after which we move in and actually enforce for us.
Because someone would wonder, you have the police at your disposal. Sometimes when you're going after the hawkers and and the people who are trying to sell stuff on the roadside. Why didn't you use police to ensure that there is no one who is supposed to access or continue with any activities on that side?
Well, the enforcement of trade order and that of building permission are quite different. One, the law provides a specific number of days. Time is of the essence in the laws.
So even
under
if you find
the building
it very
control.
dangerous to the people, as long
We
as
can cordon it off.
So why didn't you do that?
We can cordon it off. We can come in with other mechanisms. But where we stop and we believe that there has been a stoppage and someone eludes that stop, then we go ahead and prosecute them like we are going to do in this case.
Can you sample or give me a few names or cases and numbers of those that you have at least gotten like a conviction or something ever since all these mishaps have been happening?
Well, in the past 5 years, we have had about 5 incidences, and most of these are before court. We have prosecution is ongoing, and they are before court, and we await a verdict.
KCCA has about 10 inspectors for the 5 divisions in Kampala, where there are over 500 construction sites, while NBRB has only 1 inspector. How many staff or inspectors do you think the board needs to effectively execute your mandate?
Can I pass that question? Because I'm still in foundation stage. I don't want to give a figure and then in the next 2 months I give another figure.
It is hoped that the Kisenyi building will be the last one to claim lives as KCCA and the National Building Review Boards fix the problems that stand in their way as they try to execute their mandate. Sudil Biaruhanga, NTV.